Hey guys, this is John here in Los Angeles with the Alpha Channel update for Friday, August 30th, 2024. Today we're doing Topps Dracula Vlad the Impaler number 3. And this was coming out right around the same time as the Bram Stoker's Winona Ryder and Keanu Reeves movie with Gary Oldman. Here we go. Written by Roy Thomas and Esteban Maroto as the illustrator. He's a gifted illustrator. He really made Vlad look a lot older here, and he did a great job with Romanian and Wallachian faces in general. They have sort of very full lips and round cheeks, while still being very angular and sharp in a lot of ways. And he is a gifted illustrator. A lot of these are sort of montage scenes. Vlad did come to power for a third reign. It was very short. And this is around the time that he is rumored to have, get this is kind of where I came up with the idea that he has fallen angels working in his knightly ranks. They stripped trees and created spears, stakes, ahead of battles, and dug holes for the stakes ahead of battles in the shapes of flowers and geometric patterns, and then deliberately occupied undefensible areas, suckering in enemy troops where they dispatched them. And Vlad, from hillsides nearby, watched the flowers and the shapes, come to life. So how do you do that with your troops not taking, how do your troops in a battle so dominate the enemy that they're able to plant them up on stakes while the fight's going on like it's no big deal? More like it's business as usual. There's a bunch of stuff, I believe. Let me see if I might have to back up here a little bit. There's a scene. Oh, this is it right here, the very beginning. So this very beginning, this happened in real life. Vlad was occupying a home, and a thief ran into it seeking, he was trying to avoid the guard. He's a pickpocket or some sort of thief or whatever. And here Vlad is confronting him and questioning him, and the guy admits that he's a thief and that he broke in and, please have mercy on me. And then the local constable comes in, ignores Vlad, and arrests the thief. Now, this makes sense, except that there were sort of different home ownership rules back then. And the constable is usurping Vlad's authority. That's essentially not essentially, that's exactly what he's doing. And so Vlad beheads him. And when his cousin hears about it, who is running this land, he laughs. So, yeah. And Vlad did come to power again the third time. He was setting up those flowers, like I told you guys. There was a lot of stuff going on, sort of intrigues, this and that, in that. So this guy over here is Stephen Bathory, who would have been an ancestor of Elizabeth Bathory. And I don't remember him from the books I read, but the name is definitely relevant. Vlad was, sorry, I should just show this to you guys. Vlad did have a new wife and a couple kids, and this is him getting ready to leave. This is him also burying a bunch of treasure, sort of like a pirate thing. He has a bunch of treasure put into iron barrels, and then they dam up a river and dig out the center of a river and bury the treasure, and then he has those men killed. So that's like a clever thing, Vlad himself here is betrayed and murdered and decapitated, and his head is delivered just a couple of months into his third reign. His head is then delivered to, here he is, decapitated. His head is then delivered to the Sultan Mehmed II, who plants it on the gates of Constantinople. And apparently it was there for a while. Check this out. There's a little Topps ad thing in this page. There was supposedly some baseball, not some baseball, but some trading cards that came with this. Mike Mignola and some other artists. And of course, I bought these as reader copies, so I didn't get any of those. But anyhow, this is telling about how Vlad was buried, how his corpse was buried at the foot of an altar and in Brasov. And his head was also taken down and replaced with a just another corpse skull, like it aged overnight. There was also some rumors that it didn't age for a long time. And this is Vlad's son, Mihena, who became a warlord briefly and fought to the lands north of Wallachia. And here is the story about this guy, this old monk. This is like years later, bringing Vlad's uncorrupted head back to his uncorrupted body. And he tells the monks that they have to move it from the altar to the door of the monastery, the door of the chapel, so that everyone will tread over his body. And this is how he gets them to dig up the corpse. And then they have to open it to make sure it's right, and then he starts to murder all of them. This is where it becomes a Hammer Horror Films comic book, in that he brings Vlad back to life. One of the monks kills him, and the blood runs onto him. It's the blood of one of his descendants, because this is like 150 years later, 100 years later, and this is one of Vlad's descendants. And so Vlad is now alive, and this is the birth of the vampire lineage, at least his vampire lineage, in this comic book series, this 3-issue comic book series. They did get a lot. They did pack quite a bit into 3 comics. And it's Roy Thomas, you know. I'm guessing that he took a more heavy hand in the production of this Zorro ad than in some of those old Conan ones I was reading, which we're probably going to get back to in a short time here. But here is the Yggdrasil deck for today. This is the box. And here's the book. Today's card is Uderbaren, decision, performance, action. So what it looks like is the underworld building a fortress, an impregnable fortress, where everyone you care about can be protected. Decision, action. Protection was the third one? Decision, performance, impact. Uderbaren. Decision, performance, impact. I came across something today about the 3 requirements to make a statement. These are the Socrates ones. Craig Ferguson had 3 that I remember too. The Socrates ones are, is it true? Is it kind? And is it useful? So if you're going to say something, first off, is it true? Second off, if it's not true, is it at least kind? And third off, if it's not true and kind, is it useful? I don't see how it could be useful if it's not true. But Craig Ferguson's 3 bits about whether or not you're going to say something. Does it have to be said right now? First, does it have to be said? Second, does it have to be said right now? Third, does it have to be said right now by me? So when you factor into the idea that all fiction is a reply to the world, is this the reply I want to be making? Is this the fiction that I'm writing? Is this the reply that I want to be making to the world? And I'm really happy with the stuff I'm working on. So, not judging other people's stuff, not judging what other people might want or think they want, or the influence they want to have on the world, or the way they want to address certain grievances in their fiction, if they're doing agenda-driven propaganda, which a lot of people are, if they're working agenda-driven propaganda in everything they work on, which some people are demanding, that's the only way they allow things to go forward. If you think things like The Purge aren't agenda-driven propaganda, all these movies are. Even the ones that are positive. Even Mary Poppins is agenda-driven propaganda. But that's, you know, some of it is better than others. So what's my point? I don't know. Just do what you love. I tend to put a little bit more weight on, does it contribute to the, you know, does it make the world a better place? Some people don't. Some people aren't interested in that. Some people are betting on the things that make the world a worse place being the most successful. Something to be said for that. Something to be said for that. Anyhow, all right, see you guys tomorrow. Bye.